the FOMO. For the city and the back roads, got a whole county full of them ghosts. All from the FOMO and that goes. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcon. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewood got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin', and they really bout it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and kinda got flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the football. This for the football. This for the football.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday as we have reached the end of this week. And what a great week it has been. Last night got a chance to head over to Perry High School for the what has become like an annual night game between the Perry Pirates and the Edgewood Warriors. It was an absolute blast to watch last night. There's just something different about baseball under the lights. But last night Perry comes out on top on that one. We'll be going through the scoreboard here in just a minute. Getting ready for also one of the cool things from yesterday is got to head over to Jefferson for the first time ever, and go to my first signing day, getting to watch Mason Pulowski, that outstanding offensive lineman, defensive lineman that they had over there, or that they still have over there at Jefferson, get his signing to Capital. And it was the first time I've ever got to be a part of it. And, his graphic will be coming out here soon over on ysnlive.com. But he was really proud of it. And Capital University is one of those universities. It's a Division III, but, you talk about the grades that are required to get into a school like that. And I think that might be more impressive than even the athletic scholarship. It's no joke. The academic requirements that you need for there. And you know what, in Mason's case, he knocks it out of the park. So, it's not a student comes before athlete for a reason. So it's really, really cool that he got a chance to go out there and do that. So I got a chance to sit down with him, and I'm going to run that interview this morning so you guys can all check it out as Mason talks about his journey and how Capital became his go-to. All right, I'm here with Jefferson Falcon. Mason Pulowski on signing day, going to Capital University, playing some football there. What's going on out there? How did this Capital journey begin, and what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, well, it all started, in the summer. They were actually my first offer, actually. And that connection, that relationship started building from the start. All season, just kept me motivated all year long to get that offer and then just work as hard as I could to prove that I was worthy of it.
Yeah, and Capital takes the student part of student athlete very seriously. Yeah. And as you are an impressive student, we know that with a great grade point average. What are some of the things that you're looking forward to when you get to Capital?
Yeah, so I'm a major in exercise science. So I'm just, first of all, the academic part, I'm just really interested in really studying the human body and how to make myself the best it can be, and then with football, just meeting the new guys, meeting some of these guys who they're the best athletes at their different high schools, and then we're all going to come together and then just to feed off that energy and just become even better, and then building those lasting relationships, and then one more thing about Capital is, they didn't have a great season last year. They went 0-10. But I plan to, like Coach Han said, BTC be the change. I plan on coming in there and leaving that program as a winning program.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, it's 7%, I think, is the last stat I heard of athletes who are going to go from high school to play college football, college anything. What are some of the things you took seriously? What are some of the things you did to make sure that you were going to be part of that 7%?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it was, constantly being in the weight room. You got to live there. That's got to be your second home. It's always been my second home. You got to eat right. You got to, if you want to make it to the next level, as a lineman, you got to be big. So simply was just eating and lifting weights. But then, I had to have good feet. So I was, it was being in the weight room, and then it was going from the weight room directly to the field, doing drills, working my kick step, doing ladder drills. I had to be agile. I had to be able to be light on my feet, So, that's all it was. It was just constant work.
So as you get ready to depart from Jefferson High School, where you have most definitely left your mark on this area, what are some words of knowledge that you want to leave for maybe some of the underclassmen, maybe even some of the junior high kids who are coming up that are looking at Mason Pawlowski as their hero now?
Yeah, it would be simply to, work hard. Never give up. Never give up on a dream. Work hard. It'll pay off in the end. And enjoy every moment you get. Tomorrow is never a guarantee. So just cherish each moment. Go out there and live your life. Have those experiences. I couldn't tell you one of my favorite memories from high school and high school football, because every moment was my favorite. Just being with the guys, enjoying that grind, building those relationships. That's what it's all about.
I'll tell you what, you answered it before I could ask you. That's awesome. You're very prepared. Congratulations on signing with Capital, and I can't wait to see you playing on Saturdays and everything that's going to come after that, because I know you're going to make a mark on Capital the same way you did right here at Jefferson.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Mason Pawlowski talking about his journey and how he ended up at Capital, and this was a kid who had to work very, very hard to get where he was at. He talked about the size, the strength, the speed he had to put on after coming in after his freshman year, and just never giving up on that journey the entire time. And I think it's really something it says a lot about his character. And this is a kid that anybody you talk about, anybody who sees him, anybody when you ask him about Mason Pawlowski, they've always got just shining things to say. And that's all the way from, the head coach, Coach Hanna, to the teachers, to the office administrator. He's got a great set of parents on him, really, one of those kids that kind of shines amongst everybody. He shines amongst gems, because there's a lot of gems out there at Jefferson, and he really is a standout. I'm telling you, this kid is somebody you might see as a president and one day, just a really, really solid young man. And it was fun to get to watch him. And actually, this is probably my favorite part of being at this point in the journey, is getting to see. I'm at the point now where, after we've done this for, I think I'm going on 4 years with this. I'm at the point now where there are certain kids that I can remember as freshmen, as sophomores, and watch this change that they've made, and get to see some of the goals that they've accomplished, and watch how they've gone from the JV kid to the varsity kid, or maybe from the varsity kid who was struggling to the varsity kid who was leading the team. And it's one of the coolest things you'll ever get to see. This high school transformation that happens with these kids it's really an absolute blast. And it's one of the best parts of doing this. It's one of the things that kind of keeps me going, the things that keep me ticking for this. But yesterday, we're going to jump into, I'll tell you what, before we jump into that, I want to talk about a viral, a viral moment that has gone around. And I know that I don't necessarily cover professional sports, and it's not something that I spend a lot of time in, but I watch it. I'm a fan of sports in general, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, at the end of, after getting upset by the Heat, was asked by a reporter if he felt like this season was a failure because they didn't win. And his response, I think, is something that everybody should hear. It's one of the best post-game interview moments I've ever seen in my life. It's one of the best sports quotes I've ever seen in my life. And his response, kind of tighter down here, is there is no failure in sports. There are good days. Some days you are not able to be successful, or some days you are able to be successful. Some days you are not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not. That's what sports are about. You don't always win. And one of the things he also kind of highlighted in that one was, he said Michael Jordan won 6 championships in 15 years. Are the other 9 years of failure? And the answer is absolutely not. Like, I think it's something that people need to hear. I think it's something that kids need to hear. I think people need to be reminded that hardware, ribbons, medals, they're nice. Trophies are amazing. And that's what we're fighting for. And that's why, we're competing for those things. But falling short of those isn't a failure. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things I think that people tend to forget. They tend to forget. Everybody spends so much time, talking about the winner and the loser, and really just celebrating the winner and downgrading at times the loser. But there's a lot of work that goes in, and I think it was beautifully said by this guy. For those of you who don't follow NBA basketball, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a young man. It's crazy for me to say that, as he's younger than I am. He's a young guy, NBA All-Star, NBA champion. This is a guy who came over, leading the Milwaukee Bucks, a small market team. He came over here from Greece. He's a foreign player who came over into the United States, has really made his mark on the game. They get ousted by a lower seeded team in the Heat this year. And, his response to, was this season a failure, I think is just the most appropriate. I think it's something that every single coach, no matter what you're coaching, I think should watch. I think every single coach, no matter what you're coaching, should watch that. I even if you don't show it to your players, I think you should utilize the wisdom is truly what it is. It's wisdom that he imparted on the world. I think it's something that you should incorporate into your teams. Remind your kids that your season, your worth, your greatness is not judged by just wins and losses. It's not judged by just winning championships. The accomplishments of getting on that field and getting to that field and being better today than you were yesterday are the greatest accomplishments that you'll ever have. And I think that gets forgotten at times. And it's, everybody loves a winner. Everybody loves a champion. And they deserve to be lauded, and they deserve applauded, and they deserve all of those extras. But there are a lot for every champion. There's a long list of teams that lost, and their efforts are no less important. And that doesn't mean that they deserve ribbons or medals or trophies or anything. I'm definitely not that guy. There's one champion. There, participation ribbons and trophies. I'm not that guy either. No, you played. Your participation trophy is the fact that you went out there and you got better. And now you know what it takes to get better. And you're one step closer to becoming that champion. And everybody in high school, you're on a time clock because you've only got 4 years. You only got 4 years. You only got 4 seasons. So make the most of each one of those. Because in the NBA, these guys are going to go 15, 20 years. You got 15 chances. In some cases, in some times you got 20 chances. In the NFL, you've got, the average career is like 12 years. You got 12 shots at it. MLB, I don't know. The MLB, it seems like those guys play for 100 years. But even then, there's a finite amount of chances with high school being the smallest. You got 4 chances. You got 4 seasons to make it happen. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean your career was a failure. It doesn't mean your efforts were fruitless either. Your efforts are all – anytime you get on the field, anytime you get on the court, anytime you have gotten better today than you have gotten yesterday, your efforts were worth it, and you were worth it. So I wanted to talk about that because I thought it was such a great quote from him, and I think it was so important, and it is so important, I think, for teams to hear that. For teams to hear that, because we are coming upon the part of the season, believe it or not, it's almost tournament time. It's almost tournament time. So there are some teams that are going to go out there and they're going to have an early year. It's week 1 and done for some of these teams. And it's a hard pill to swallow. And it's a pill that more kids are going to have to go home than continue. And that's going to happen every week. But just remember that, like Giannis said, and I think he nailed it on the head. There is no failure in sports. There are good days and there are bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you are not. Some days it's your turn and some days it's not. That's not what sports is about. You don't always win. Sports is about getting better as a person, becoming better, and keeping that passion to fly forward. With that, we're going to go into our first break, folks. And then when I come back, we're going to go through our scores. We're going to talk about some of the games that are happening later in the day. Really excited about, we've got a nice little lineup of baseball coming up today and this weekend. So this is the point of the show where I want to remind everybody that the 440 Sports Show is brought to you by absolutely nobody yet. We're still looking for some advertisement and sponsorship on this show. I know that me personally, I would love to have an Ashtabula flavor right here on your sports network. I know that we have a lot of businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs that have great products and have produced at a very high level. And I would love nothing more than to get that product, get that business out in front of almost 70 different schools and well over 70 different demographics. You're talking about all the way down from Youngstown, Akron area to Lake Erie, every school in between. We've got you covered. I mean, it is really a great opportunity for some regional advertisements right here. And then on the second, and definitely not least important, is the fact that you're going to be helping kids. The 440 Sports Show, your sports network, all of the shows, Running Point, we are all fueled by the money that we get from advertisements and sponsorships. Those are what keeps the boat flowing. So I'm reaching out. I'm hoping that at some point we're gonna get one. If you're interested, or a business that you think would be interested in joining the Your Sports Network advertising family, hit me on any of these down here. I would love to talk to you, at least sit down and let you know what we got going on. Or you can go over to ysnlive.com, check under advertisements. All the information is going to be right there. Once again, folks, my name's Sam Torres. We're going to go to our first break, talk to our friends from Toyota of Warren, and then when we come back, it's scores, baby. See you soon.
We believe expectations are made to be exceeded. At the new Toyota of Warren, it's about more than just getting a great deal. It's about service you can count on and a friendship you can trust. Year after year, we've done what we do best. We've gone the extra mile so you could too. Because we know it's just not about buying a new car. It's the start of a new adventure. Toyota of Warren, driven by you.
Hi, this is Zell Bush.
Hi, this is Tom Clint. Hi, this is Steve Rossetto.
Hi, this is Ryan Miller.
Hi, this is Rich Sakui from WRS Wealth Advisors.
With our combined 80 years of experience,
WRS Wealth Advisors are the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Call 330-965-0370 to learn more about our individual and corporate financial planning services.
Or visit WRSwealth.com.
Go Raiders.
Go Dogs.
Go Cats. Go Dogs. Go Tigers.
Jimmy Sutman here, director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Winter, spring, summer, and fall. Mill Creek Metro Parks is your park for all seasons. Make a memory in the park. Plan your visit today at millcreekmetroparks.org.
All right, everybody, welcome back. 440 Sports Show. Sam Torres here. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to get into some of the scores. A little bit of a different open to the show today, as there's some things that I wanted to talk about. If something strikes me as important, that's where you're going to hear it, right there in the front half. I'm not, without going back into it, I think it's super important. I think it's super important for some of these young athletes. I'll tell you what, I think it's super important for some of these coaches to know those things. That, some days it's your day, some days it's not. But all of your efforts, as long as they are in, as long as you're working to get better, your efforts are worth it and your time matters. All right, let's get into some of these scores as we head over. That's weird. There we go. All right, as we head over to ysnlive.com under the scores tab right here, baby. That's where you're going to find all of the scores right here on the network. We got a couple that didn't make the cut, but I will be mentioning them, so don't you worry your little heart. Starting off here on Thursday, Heartland Christian goes up 13-4 over Crestview. That's a pretty big win for Heartland Christian, as Crestview has right around 10 or 11 wins on the year. I'm really looking forward to this week's Power 20. I know that the algorithm and the computer points that first week went over like a fart in church, but I think it's the right way to go. I think that I think ultimately when you make it a numbers game, when you make it where this equals this, and there's a direct path to number one as the same way as there's a direct path to 21, it makes it fair. You take the judgment out, and that's the proper way to do it. If you don't agree, I'm sorry. We don't have to agree on everything, right? Coming up next, we got Ursuline. Lakeview grabbing another big win. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out for the Bulldogs. They're the real deal Holyfield this year. 4-2 win over Ursuline. And, they go out there, they split the series with Poland. They get a win over South Range. I am so very interested in this team from Cortland to see what they are going to do this year. Jackson, Milton, and Mineral Ridge unreported, as is Warren G. Harding and Girard. Eds and Mooney not reported. Sorry about that. As we head over West Branch getting a dub over another big time team in Columbiana. Now Columbiana, a small division team, but a lot of wins for that Columbiana Bombers team, or excuse me, Columbiana Flyers. I'm sorry, I think I butchered their name. But anyway, in this one, it's all Warriors 7-1 as they get the W there. Lisbon and Cheney, you got Lisbon grabbing a W over Cheney, 9-8. I will be looking into that Warren JFK Hoban game to see what the final on that one is. And then Lakeside and PV, it's not on here, but it was reported late last night. Lakeside getting the win in this one. Narrow victory, 3-1. They get to win over PV. And if you remember, the last time that these two teams met up, and that was in Andover, broadcasted by yours truly, that game was an absolute blowout. 23-0, I believe, was the final on that one. This one, Lakeside keeps it very, very close. PV keeps it very close. It's 3-1, and that's your final. Sebring and Springfield. It's been a tough year for Sebring. 17-0 as Springfield goes in there and the Tigers chomp down on Sebring. And these were all late reported games because they were after 7 o'clock, including my game last night, which was reported. The Edgewood Warriors falling to Perry. I got a chance to cover that game last night. It was under the lights at Perry. Shout out to the Perry Athletic Department, athletic director Rockwell for welcoming me there. And it's always fun when you get out to Perry. If you've never seen their facilities, they are beautiful. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. Not part of the YSN family yet, but you never know, because I'm telling you that they really got it going on out there at Perry. So before you know it, we may be scooting on over to Lake County and getting in there as Ashtabula County, 7 out of 8, almost all of them involved with us here. But with that one, Perry's going to go up in that one 8-0, able to get 2 runs pretty consistently in every inning, starting in the second inning, and their offense was really going. And Edgewood has struggled a little bit this week. Going all the way back to the first game this week, I actually got to cover that one too. When they took on Kirtland, Edgewood, able to get the bats on the balls, but can't find the gaps. Kirtland able to, catch everything they hit. So it's not a question of ability to hit, it's ability to find a gap. And I think that's what Coach Barger is kind of focusing on. And, Edgewood's just been the unfortunate recipient of some great defense. I look at, on Tuesday, I look at Aiden Hernandez hitting an absolute rope to left center, and Kirtland center fielder jumping up in the air to catch it. Last night, they have a couple absolute shots over into the outfield where diving catches are coming. I mean, it was something to be said. Again, they're falling behind now as they remain with only 10 wins. It's been a tough week for them. We're heading over here to the softball side of things. And how about this? Jefferson Falcons 6-0 over Edgewood. They get the season sweep over the Lady Warriors, and the Lady Warriors are no pushover. These young ladies have won a lot of games this year. Interesting factoid about Jefferson: 12 home runs for their softball team. They've hit 12 home runs this year. 7 different batters have hit a home run for the Jefferson Falcons. That team really has got things going on. The Falcons are in full flight. And, Sammy Speakman is one of the best pitchers in the area, one of the best pitchers in Northeast Ohio. I'm super excited to see where this Lady Falcons team is going to go. Because they are just getting better and better and better every day. They've got some young girls that are on fire, including Rogers, who is tagging the ball for them. It's really it's something special over there in Jefferson. Next reported game is going to be Columbiana and Lisbon. Columbiana going 10-3 over Lisbon, getting that W down there. You got Springfield making the sweep, boys and girls, 18-3 over Sebring for the Tigers. Boardman gonna win over Field 7-5. You've got that'll be the final one that's reported. A couple games that go unreported as of yesterday. Over on the baseball side, St. John with a huge win for their program. An exclamation point win for their program as they win over Madison yesterday. St. John going to get the win over Madison 3-1. And, we talked about how unfortunate they really have been when it comes to getting baseball games in. And the Herald's baseball team is really, really getting it done right now. Beating a team that I think is 2 divisions higher than they are. So, kudos to the Heralds on grabbing some wins so far in this one. I don't think they lost a game last week this week because I know they beat Wyndham as well. Also on the girls' side, the St. John Heralds gets another win. St. John Heralds, it's St. John 6, Cardinal 5. In an absolute barn burner, comes down to the last play of the game. Brittany Cole is going to hit the walk-off run for the Heralds last night. What a game. They had 4 girls with 3 hits in that game. Unbelievable offensive night for the Heralds. Just a great night for St. John, to be honest with you. And, they continue. We're going to be looking into their schedule. They'll probably be on the network sooner than you know. As depending on the weather, we're going to see what opens up for this weekend. Just a quick peek over here at the standings page. I'm sure that it's not updated yet, but always, you got to do like I do. You got to check here, ysnlive.com. Is it updated? And it looks like it is, as guess what? The AAC has a brand new top of the top. And that top of the top is those Cardinals of Canfield, 10-2 with a 5-0 conference record, taking the top spot over Austintown Fitch. Over on the girls' side, it's the complete opposite. Austintown Fitch 14-0, Canfield 14-1. And you talk about a highly contested conference. Holy smokes, they don't get much more highly contested than that. Over here in the Buckeye North, you got Harrison Central and Indian Creek on top, Indian Creek and Edison over on top here on the softball side. Over here in the Eastern Buckeye, you got Alliance on top and West Branch creeping their way back to the top as well. Marlington and Carrollton on the top there. Over here in the EOAC, it is Columbiana, 7-0 in the conference, 10-6 overall, and then Wellsville right behind them with a 9-1 record. Columbiana softball, how about this one? 15-2. And then United 12-4. Over here in the MVAC, you got Crestview 8-2 with a 10-3 overall record, but Crestview takes a loss last night, so I wonder how that is going to play into this one. LeBray right behind them, 8-2. They are tied up, and LeBray actually with the better record. I wonder what the tiebreaker is in that one, whether it's head-to-head or what. Jackson Milton 10-2. 15-5 overall. McDonald right behind there, 7-2 with a 9-4 overall record. Again, Western Reserve maintaining their perfection, 13-0, 10-0 in the conference. McDonald 8-1, 10-2 in the conference. Champion 13-1, 10-0 in the conference, and Brookfield 10-2, 14-3 in the conference. Over here in the NAC, you got Matthews, who is on top of the conference there with 6-1. Maplewood behind them. Not a lot of conference games happening in the NAC, and that's part of the problem. St. John on top in the Stripes division with a perfect 4-0 conference record. So welcome to the show, St. John baseball. 5-3 overall, and I believe they're 6-3 overall now. With their showdown with Bristol coming here sooner than later. Over on the softball side, you got Chalker 4-0, Lordstown 3-3, and St. John 1-1. St. John's overall record 3-2. Pymatuning Valley 8-0 in the conference, 12-3 overall, and Pymatuning Valley. Those girls are the real deal this year as well. I mean, Alderman and the whole squad. The whole squad out there, Sage Payne, it doesn't matter who you got out there. Those girls are doing their job. As we head over here to the NE8, and this is the one, I'm telling you, the most hotly contested conference in Northeast Ohio is going to be the Northeast 8, and that's Lakeview on top right now, 10-1, 12-1 overall record. You got Hubbard behind them, 6-4 in the conference, 11-7 overall. South Range, 6-3. I'm not sure that these are completely up to date. Because if they are, then I think Lakeview may have won the conference, but I believe that Lakeview is actually 10-2 because I think they took a loss. I'll have to double check that one. Over here on the girls' side, it's all South Range. Raiders 9-0 in the conference with Lakeview right behind them there as well, 7-2, 13-1, and 10-2 overall records. Let's see what's going on down here in this Portage Trail. Warren JFK 6-0, 10-2 overall, doing the job there. As we head over to this Steel Valley Conference. Ursuline 3-0, 9-5 overall. Cardinal Mooney 6-8, 1-1. Over on the softball side, you got Cardinal Mooney 2-0, and the East right behind them, as well as Cheney looking for conference wins in both softball and baseball. So games that are coming up tonight. Looking at the schedule, Friday night, you got at Scene Park, you're going to have Canfield at Cardinal. They're going to be playing at Scene Park. Mineral Ridge taking on Jackson Milton. That's a 5 o'clock game. Austintown Fitch taking on South Range. That's at 5 o'clock. You got Warren G. Harding versus Niles at 5 o'clock as well. Some of the other games going on today. Madison at Conneaut. That's going to be an interesting one. Cheney at Wellsville. Howland at Girard. Jackson at Archbishop Hoban. North Royalton at Boardman. Struthers at West Branch. Wyndham at PV is an interesting one, as that's an NAC conference game. Jefferson County Christian at East Palestine. A couple games already canceled for tonight. Waterloo versus Lowellville. And Youngstown East at Liberty. Both of those games canceled for the night. Over here on the softball side, you're going to have Poland taking on Boardman. Anthony going to be on the call for that one. Champion at Austintown Fitch, and that is the incomparable Ty Bartell making that call. Jefferson at Conneaut tonight. Lakeview at PV. Edgewood at Struthers. Beaver Local at Lisbon. Painesville Harvey at Lakeside. So quite a few games on the tap for tonight. As we head into Saturday, you can look forward to Austintown Fitch taking on Hubbard. Struthers taking on Ursuline at Scene Park. That should be a good one. This is Saturday. Those are 12 p.m. starts. Lakeview at Howland is a 12 p.m. start. South Range at Salem this weekend. Grand Valley at West Branch. Cardinal Mooney at Champion. Malvern at Sebring. Liberty at Cheney. Steubenville Central Catholic at Beaver Local. This is at 12 o'clock. Girard at Crestview. Newton Falls at Heartland Christian. Over there on the softball side, you're going to have Champion versus Whitmer at Victory Park. Nordonia at Howland. And then Champion versus Evergreen at Victory Park. West Branch at Howland. Those games this Saturday. Nordonia versus West Branch at Howland. So a lot of good baseball and softball on tap this weekend. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you're tuning in to your sports network to catch all the best coverage from the best announcers. And that's going to do it for today's show. I want to thank everybody for joining me today and can't wait to see you guys on Monday. Make sure you guys tune in on Sunday night to the Diamond Roundup. The Diamond Roundup is YSN's weekly baseball and softball review show. We will be unveiling a brand new Power 20 this week. We're going to be unveiling a brand new Starting 9 this week. Can't wait to get these new rankings out there. Super excited. We'll see you guys then. My name is Sam Torres. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'll see you guys Monday.
This for the football. This for the football. For the city and the back roads. Got a whole county full of them goats. All from the football. Hey, it's just for Beulah County. Yeah, right on your head like a bounty. Said I'm from Beulah, they know I'm from Beulah, so let me just go talk about my surroundings. Shout out them Eagles that's out in Geneva, them Lakers, oh yeah, that's Palmerton and Valley. We from the football chasing these goals. If you in the way, you get taken out proudly. And Jefferson soaring with Falcons. Said that you working, you ain't really working. You see that we working, our hands got a callus. Putting in reps till we moving some mountains. Edgewood got warriors, they won't allow it. Me, I bleed green and gold, they know defeating those dragons who run the whole city. You wildin'. And they really doubt it. And next we gon' go to Grand Valley. Work like a horse and don't show no remorse. So opponents keep coming, we stack them and pile them. Yeah, and kinda I flooded with Spartans. As soon as they pull up on game day, we park them. Cause we number one in that spot, ain't a bargain. Man, shout out St. John, they be ballin' like Harden. This for the football. This for the football.